Dave Holmes, welcome to Manufacturing Leaders Summit. First of all, can you just give us a bit of a rundown of what your role is at BAE Systems?
So I look after the Falcon business, which is our rapid prototyping arm of the air sector, looking at all technologies, early life cycle concepts, and really looking after what's after next. We're trying to build a team of people, an ecosystem where we're encouraging people to be curious and hopefully bring forward next generation solutions that essentially makes the world a safer and better place.
And you're kicking off Manufacturing Leaders Summit Day 1, you're giving the opening keynote. Can you give us a little bit of a flavour about what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So through the keynote this morning, I'm hopefully going to give some insights in terms of the collaborations we're forming, how we're going about developing new technologies, but more importantly, how important digital is all the way through the life cycle of products, and also how it impacts on the carbon footprint. You know, we're starting to look at how artificial intelligence, how digital data can influence the way we design, manufacture, support, and of course dispose of products. That's going to be really important as we all fulfill our role in society going forward.
And how has manufacturing's approach to customer-centricity and collaboration changed in recent years, and how is it sort of helping to reshape the sector?
What we're seeing in the sector is, greater focus between the customer and the providers. They're after more shorter lead times, rapid cycling of products, technology development. The products aren't being viewed for lasting as long. Historically our life cycle of a product from requirements through to disposal could have been 2 working careers, 80 years. 20 years in concept and development, 40 years in manufacture, 20 years in sustainment. I think what we're now seeing is, because the advent of technologies, the way that the products are being used in that defensive posture, we're seeing things cycle a lot faster. I think things are going to start to be measured in terms of months and weeks on the development cycle. And I think again in terms of, depending on the product, they're only going to be current in service. Certainly in the conflicts we're seeing in the East at the moment, maybe only current for 6 months.
The brief of your keynote, you touched on an interesting phrase I picked up, an ecosystem of excellence. What does that look like in practice, and what are the keys to success?
I think first thing we have to recognise is that no one company or no one person has sort of monopoly on innovation and great ideas. So it's built on the principle of better together. So if we start bringing together small, medium enterprises, micro enterprises, academia, blue chip companies, reach out beyond the normal sector boundaries that we've historically enjoyed, and start to create this ecosystem of curiosity where people are given interesting grand challenges, but an opportunity to take something to market. It's really important that we recognise that the micro and small SMEs have got their own IP. It's the backbone of their business. It's really what gives them value. Now let's try and find a way of actually stitching that together as part of an integration role, get things into the hands of people who need it, and really give people a way to actually generate revenue.
A key element of that collaboration piece is sort of, diversity, and I think it's been proven the more diverse companies are, the more successful and the more profitable. So how can manufacturers ensure that they're not only cultivating the right talent, but it's as diverse as possible?
Firstly, I fully agree. This is about diversity and inclusivity at all levels in the workforce. I think, it goes all the way back to school. We've got now as a sector to start to move away from this image and branding that we operate in dark satanic mills. Our engineers, our manufacturers, whether it be at micro SMEs all the way through to blue chips into global enterprises, are operating some of the most high-tech environments with the most cutting-edge technology. So we've got to rebrand ourselves right the way from young people from the age of 5. We've got to explain to people all the way through those formative years that they're enjoying their leisure time, their pastimes, through the use of innovation, engineering, manufactured products, whether it be using their connected devices, PlayStations, etc. So if we start to get people to understand what manufacturing, what engineering is really about, and then start to understand how it plays a role in society, how engineering and manufacturing is really going to be the key to us having, an effective solution against global warming. So if we start to bring hearts and minds with us on that journey, I think what we'll then start to see the barriers removed, and this move away from white Anglo-Saxon males sort of dominating manufacturing. We really do need diversity. We need new ideas. We need new people that bring a complete different way and reframing these engineering and manufacturing challenges.
And you touched on sort of the green piece, the sustainability element there. What do manufacturers need to do to make sure that their innovation aligns with net zero strategies and net zero goals?
I think one of the challenges that manufacturers have got is actually understanding what's their carbon footprint today. I think for us to be able to measure the carbon footprint all the way through, we've got the guidance on scopes 1, 2 and 3, scope 1 and 2 being actually in the hands of people that are engineering and making products rather than using it. I think for us to characterise our businesses, do it in a uniform way, and then start to make effective decisions, but also push back and use that as a discriminator when making sourcing decisions, when making partnering decisions, when making outsourcing decisions, that we start to take a complete through life cycle view of carbon footprint. And I think what that'll start to do is change the supply lines. It'll force us to consider as manufacturers, engineers, how do we bring more onshore, reshore? How do we start considering that in the equation? So this isn't just about cost anymore. It's obviously going to be about cost, about capability, but the carbon footprint that we can control directly without really doing anything more, they're just creating local effective partnerships, is going to be right at the forefront of how we do things.
Yeah, indeed. And just finally, Dave, another phrase that sort of came out of your keynote brief is horizon scanning techniques. What are they, and what role can they play in ensuring that manufacturers can sustain technological leadership?
Yeah, I think I just encourage everyone to be curious. We kind of need people who are thinking about being futurologists. Those people who are looking up and out as much as spending time looking down and in. People are comfortable with what they know, so they resign themselves to be able to manufacture, engineer in a very short-term sort of window, whether that be an order book, whether that be a technology, maybe even a customer base. I just encourage people to look out and start to think in a different manner, look in adjacent sectors, look in terms of what the hyperscalers are doing, steal with pride, and look at how you can take all the individual ingredients, however small, and actually try and stitch them together to give you a commercial, economic, innovative advantage.